Hey, how you doing? I'm Jay Gore, and I'm selling this great Ernie Ball Music Man Lukather guitar. And I wanted to tell you the great story behind this guitar. I am the original and only owner of this guitar. It was the early 90s, and I was working for Sly Stone at the time. And we never did any gigs together, but he was recording new music. He was trying to make his big comeback, and I got hired to be his guitar player, and I would go over to the studio at his house, and he had just a little ADAT setup up there, and I would record for him. And we quickly decided that the guitar I was using, which was an old San Dimas Charvel that just had a single humbucker in it and a single volume knob and a flood rose, it wasn't cutting it for the funk tones that we needed. So he said, "What do you think you want? I'll call Dave Weiderman over at Guitar Center and see, what we can do for you." So I said, "I really want this new Ernie Ball Steve Lukather model that they're making." I said, "It's a very versatile guitar, and I really love it. I think it's a beautiful guitar, and I would love to get my hands on one of those." So Sly Stone picked up the phone, and he called Dave Weiderman, and like within a week, I had this guitar. Weiderman called me to come pick it up, so I picked it up, went into the office at Guitar Center on Sunset Boulevard, and I picked it up. I then had a band, maybe a year later, we're talking about 1994 now, and the band was called Fever, and it was an original rock band. We were playing at a club in Hollywood called Club Lingerie, and I'm in there playing one night, and my sister and my girlfriend and all the band's girlfriends, they were all front row screaming and yelling and having a great time, and at one point in the show, they had all disappeared. And we're kind of on stage doing our show, looking around, where did the girls go? Where did the girls go? And my sister comes back up to the stage, and she starts screaming at me and pointing to her right, like towards the bar. And I look over to the bar, and I see Steve Lukather sitting at the bar with all of our girlfriends. And he's got his long hair, and he's just like giving me a big thumbs up with a big grin, and I'm playing this guitar that night. So the show ends, and I quickly kind of run up to the bar and introduce myself to Steve Lukather, and he gets off his stool at the bar and he gives me a hug, and "What's your name?" I tell him my name. He goes, "Man, I'm gonna always remember you because you're the first guy I've ever seen playing one of my guitars." He just happened to come in the club that night with a buddy to see the band that was going on after us. So we shot the shit there at the bar for maybe 10, 15 minutes, had a cigarette together, and then he said, "Hey man, let me give you my number, man. Please keep in touch with me. I'm playing with my band Los Lobotomies in the Valley. Why don't you come down to sound check?" I was like, "Really?" Went down to sound check, hung out with Luke, and we became really good friends. We've been good friends ever since then. So it's time for this guy to go to a great home, and I am the only owner. What has been done to it is I swapped out this for an 89, had an 81 in it originally, but I will include that original pickup with the guitar. But this is an 89, and the volume knob pulls out so you can coil tap the back, and it's in upside down and backwards because that way it's kind of more, that quack, that Strat quack is better this way. And it plays great, and the neck is straight, the frets are good, everything works perfectly on it. It has this little ding here, little paint chip, and the way I got that was one of those A-frame, I had put one over here, but it's gone now. This. It was sitting on the floor in one of these, and I had a second one of these, and I was taking out a second guitar at a rehearsal, and when I went to open this thing up, it slipped out of my hand and fell and crashed right on the end here, and that's how that happened. So there's no trying to figure that out. That's how it happened. But other than that, this guitar sounds and plays great. I'm really sad to let it go, but it's time. So hit up Cliff here at LA Vintage, and you get yourself a really great guitar at a great price. Take care.